When we talk about female sexuality and desire, we're often working with outdated assumptions and cultural myths rather than scientific understanding. Modern psychology and neuroscience research has revealed fascinating insights about how female desire actually works. Insights that challenge many common beliefs and can help us build healthier, more understanding relationships. Let's explore 7 evidence-based psychological facts about female desire that might surprise you. 1. The context-dependent nature of female arousal. A hidden truth. Unlike popular belief, female desire is highly context-dependent and influenced by environmental and emotional factors in ways that differ significantly from typical male patterns. The research, Dr. Meredith Small's research on human sexuality, shows that women's arousal often depends heavily on feeling safe, emotionally connected, and mentally present. Brain imaging studies reveal that women's sexual response involves more complex neural networks, including areas associated with emotional processing and environmental awareness. What this means: a woman might not feel desire in the same way or at the same time as her partner, and this isn't a personal rejection or lack of attraction. It's often about context, stress levels, emotional state, relationship dynamics, and even physical environment all play crucial roles. Relationship insight. Understanding this can help partners create better conditions for intimacy rather than taking lack of immediate interest personally. 2. The myth of spontaneous versus responsive desire. A hidden truth: most women experience what researchers call responsive desire rather than spontaneous desire, but this has been misunderstood and pathologized. The research. Sex researcher Emily Nagoski's work, based on decades of studies, shows that responsive desire, where arousal comes after physical intimacy begins rather than before, is completely normal and healthy. This pattern affects roughly 75% of women, but only about 25% of men. What this means: the idea that normal desire should strike spontaneously is based on male typical patterns, not female ones. Responsive desire isn't less valid or healthy, it's just different. Relationship insight. Partners who understand responsive desire can focus on creating positive intimate experiences rather than waiting for spontaneous interest to appear. 3. The emotional memory factor. The hidden truth. Women's brains form stronger emotional memories around sexual experiences, which significantly impacts future desire patterns. The research neuroscience studies show that women's brains have stronger connections between the amygdala, emotional processing, and hippocampus, memory formation, during intimate experiences. This means positive and negative sexual experiences create more lasting emotional impressions. What this means: past experiences, both positive and negative, play a larger role in shaping current desire patterns for women than commonly understood. A single negative experience can have lasting effects, while consistently positive experiences build stronger desire over time. Relationship insight. This highlights why emotional safety, patience, and positive experiences are so crucial for long-term intimate relationships. 4. The stress-desire connection. The hidden truth. Stress affects female desire more dramatically than male desire, but not always in the way people expect. Research. Studies show that cortisol, stress hormone, impacts women's sexual response systems more significantly than men's. However, the relationship isn't always linear. Some women experience increased desire during certain types of stress, while chronic stress typically decreases desire. What this means: when a woman experiences decreased desire, it's often not about her partner or the relationship itself, but about her overall stress levels and life circumstances. Relationship insight. Supporting a partner's overall well-being and stress management can be more effective for intimacy than focusing solely on romantic gestures. 5. The social conditioning paradox. The hidden truth: women often experience internal conflict between their natural desires and social conditioning about how they should behave sexually. This research. Dr. Eli Coleman's research on sexual health shows that many women experience what psychologists called desire discrepancy, a gap between what they actually want and what they feel they should want based on social messages. What this means: women may suppress or not recognize their own desires due to cultural messaging about female sexuality. This can create confusion about what they actually want versus what they think they should want. Relationship insight. Creating a judgment-free environment where a woman can explore and express her authentic desires is crucial for healthy, intimate relationships. 6. The mental load effect. The hidden truth: cognitive load. The mental energy spent on daily responsibilities has a more dramatic impact on female desire than most people realize. The research, studies on cognitive load and sexual response, show that when the brain is occupied with other concerns, household management, work stress, childcare, it's much harder to shift into a mindset conducive to intimacy. This effect is more pronounced in women due to how female brains process multitasking and responsibility. What this means: not being in the mood often isn't about attraction or relationship satisfaction, it's about mental bandwidth being occupied elsewhere. Relationship insight. Partners who help reduce their significant other's mental load often see improvements in intimacy because it frees up mental space for desire to emerge. 7. The attachment style influence. The hidden truth: a woman's attachment style significantly influences how she experiences and expresses sexual desire throughout her life. The research. Attachment theory research shows that securely attached individuals have more consistent and comfortable relationships with their own desires, while those with anxious or avoidant attachment styles may experience desire differently, either as overwhelming or as something to be suppressed. What this means: how a woman approaches intimacy and desire is often rooted in deep psychological patterns formed long before her current relationship. Understanding this can explain seemingly contradictory behaviors around intimacy. Relationship insight. Patient, consistent, emotionally safe relationships can actually help heal attachment wounds and lead to healthier desire patterns over time. The bigger picture: what this all means. These psychological insights reveal that female desire is far more complex and nuanced than popular culture suggests. Rather than being mysterious or complicated, women's sexual psychology follows logical patterns. They're just different from male typical patterns that have been considered the norm. For better relationships, focus on emotional safety and connection. Understand that desire patterns vary widely and change over time. Recognize that stress, context, and mental load significantly impact intimacy. Create space for authentic expression without judgment. Be patient with the process of building trust and comfort. The real dark side. The real dark side isn't anything inherently problematic about female desire. It's the damage done by myths, misconceptions, and cultural messaging that make women feel broken or abnormal for having perfectly natural psychological responses. Understanding the psychology behind female desire isn't about manipulation or cracking a code. It's about building genuine empathy and creating relationships where both partners can thrive. When we replace myths with understanding, we create space for more authentic, satisfying connections. These insights remind us that healthy sexuality is built on communication, emotional safety, and mutual respect, not on assumptions or stereotypes. The more we understand the real psychology behind desire, the better we can support each other in creating fulfilling, intimate relationships.